Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it, these videos are not for you to become a good person. Good or better person, it doesn't matter. Let me explain. These videos is so you can remember what you are. Now, when you try to become a better person or a good person, it's kind of trying to change behavior, which is fine, but that doesn't last necessarily, because changing behavior is going against or trying to go against the conditioning, you see, trying to go against the current of life. But you are life, and the paradox is that when you recognize yourself as life itself, you don't become a better person behaving in a particular way to fit in or to please others or to supposedly do something better for the world. You become, not to become, but you recognize the love that you are, and because you know that you are one with everything, you would not hurt yourself, you see? So the paradox is that you don't become a better person by a changing of behavior. You become a better person by knowing who you are, and that knowing who you are, recognize that not only you're not a person, but that you are the love, the underlying energy, if you want to call it that way, from which everything is a part of. So one of the frustrating parts is that sometimes I see people saying, I just want to change my behavior, but I can't. Well, because the whole attention is on the behavior, meaning on the separate sense of identity, the one that is lacking. You see, if I feel myself that I'm a person, I am already in lack. It doesn't matter what I have or don't have, because the person is a separate or seeming separate entity. Therefore, that is by default lack. And then maybe he or she thinks that changing the behavior will allow him or her to have whatever it is that they think they want. And they're always chasing something. And sometimes even they want a sense of identity. I want to be a good person, so I want to do good deeds and everything. But then underneath they're feeling incomplete, they're feeling depleted, sometimes frustrated. I'm doing so many good things and it's like life is not giving me anything back. Or I am really putting all my effort to do this and it's not appreciated. You know, it's very frustrating. But in reality, it's much, much simpler. When you do the investigation and recognize that you don't need to please anyone, that you don't need to do anything, that you don't need to change anything, you don't need to fix anything, then you become an instrument through which love can be extended. And then you will not naturally be drawn to do the kinds of things that on the surface may seem as though is helping others, if you want to call it that way. But only those who are ready to be helped. That's the difference, you see? Because otherwise, I mean, as much as good you're trying to do, in the end, it's just like trying to fill a bucket that is filled with holes. You know, you keep pouring water in it and doing all that you can, but eventually all the water is going to be drained because you haven't covered the holes underneath the bucket. So the big hole is the belief that we're a separate entity, and that we believe that this world is our reality, and then we need to fix it. It's like going to bed and dreaming and trying to fix the dream. But the dream is going to change, because that's the nature of the dream. Dreams change. Otherwise, if you could fix the dream, you will remain sleeping for the rest of your life. Why would you want to wake up from a dream that you like? But the dream is designed to have fault. The dream is designed to collapse so you can awaken to what you are. The invitation here is not to be a bad person or someone who's indifferent and doesn't care. No, that's not what we're talking about here. What we're pointing here is that notice who you are, so at least you're no longer affected by the content of the dream. And the paradox is that when you're not affected by the content of the dream, you're not in reactive mode, and you're more to be a proactive or someone who, whatever it does, it actually benefits the whole, you know, because you become the bringer of the light, so to speak. So while you know who you are, the dream no longer affects you, and then paradoxically again you become that better person that supposedly you think you want to be, because you're happy and you're at peace. And within the context of the dream, those who are ready for this will be drawn to you, and instead of you trying to chase those who are not ready, wanting to change them, all you're doing is simply being. And again, it's a progression. It's a natural. I want to use the word collective awakening, but in reality, there's no collective. There's only what is. So again, this is why the words are limiting. But you're no longer wasting your energy trying to be a good person when you are already wholeness and love. If I get to know who I am, then I know that everyone is the same source, and instead of trying to change them, I begin to accept them. I begin to love them. And if in the dream they need change and you're the instrument that life is using for that, don't worry, they'll be drawn to you. It reminds me of a story of a man who is a particular religion, I don't know, and he wanted to convert people to Christianity and everything, which is a very beautiful and noble thing, you know, from the perspective of that particular point of view. And he was convinced that he could actually help some Indians in a particular land in India. These are Indians that has not had any contact with humans in, you know, from our society at all. Therefore, if you get in contact with them, actually they can even be affected by our own bacteria or things like that, because we are immune to that, but they are not. But there's a very savage tribe, okay? So this kid wanted to go out there, and he said, I can convert them to accept Christ in their life and everything. Well, long story short, they killed him. Why? Because that's what they do. That's how they were being conditioned, you see? So these videos are not so that I can try to convert or convince anybody of anything. These videos are happening because life is using this instrument to do this. And if you as an instrument are drawn to this information, well, let's see if it serves you. If it doesn't serve you, just put it aside, because I am not trying to change anyone or trying to convince anyone. I'm just sharing my experience because that is how life is unfolding through this instrument. How long will I be making these videos? I don't know. But as long as I notice that the information or the inspiration keeps coming through, well, I say, okay, well, it's time to make another video, and then I put it in YouTube and let's see what happens. Actually, I don't even wait until see what happens. I trust that whatever happens is what's going to happen. I just simply put it out there because that is what I'm supposed to do according to the life that I'm supposed to live as of this moment. It could change. It changes all the time. But once again, when you stop identifying with the content of the mind is the one that tells you you're a good person or a bad person. Don't believe any of them. Because if you believe you're a bad person, you feel bad. If you believe you're a good person, that the ego feels great. Look, I'm a great person. I'm wonderful. I'm nobody. I'm just simply being. Put it this way, I am love. I mean, we are love. Love is all that there is. Let's put it this way. Now the question is, are we being an expression of that? You see? Or not. And that has nothing to do with you making that choice. That has to do with life making that choice through you. Okay? And like I've said, and I'll keep saying it over and over again, remember, if life is choosing you to find this kind of information, not necessarily from me, but from anyone or from anything, it doesn't matter, it could be just an insight. If life is leading you to this kind of information, well, celebrate, because life is beginning to recognize itself as truth, as life, and now is using this instrument for the benefit of waking up as opposed to remain sleeping. And remember, you're not going to wake up in the future. Let's just, again, the words are tricky here. You're not going to wake up. You are already awake because you are. These videos are not about do something so in the future you awaken. No, these videos are reminding you of the fact that you are. That's it. So you are already awake. It's that you feel or believe that you're asleep because there's an identification with the thought, I am this separate entity. But that's fine, no big deal. We're reminding ourselves that we are, and let's put it to the test. So you see that this is not esoteric. Okay, this is not theory. Right now, the only reason you think that you are that person or individual or whatever you think you are, you see, you think you are, is because of a thought. Without the thought, what are you? The challenge is that you're trying to grab it with the mind. The mind is trying to figure it out without the thought, what am I? No, the mind doesn't serve you here. The point in here is that without the thought, you are. Right now you cannot say you are not. You are. This is it. Life is. And life, it's unfolding as it is, and that's it. How will life unfold? It's a mystery, but it's unfolding because right now it is. What I mean by that is a mystery is not how will life unfold in terms of future. What I'm talking about is a mystery because we never know what's the next thing is going to happen. I don't know what is the next feeling I'm gonna have. I don't know what is the next thought I'm gonna have. I don't know what is the next word I'm gonna say. You see? All I know is that I am. And in the I amness, feelings, sensations, thoughts, situations, all that stuff appears in the I am that I am, you see. And we're pointing to the obvious, to the I am. And the I am is not a future thing. The I am is what is ever present. Except that it's colored by the conceptual mind, by the thinking. And the thinking is the one that tells you you're a good or a bad person. Or even the thinking tells you you're a bad person, now let's make you into a good person. But if you let go of all of that, you're not good, you're not bad, you simply are. And that is love. And that's what this instrument was inspired to share, so I hope it served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.